Sydney. Sydney is a city of constant change. This is the site of Wentworth Hotel and the former offices of Ben Boyd of whaling fame. The Rocks End of Sydney is also changing. Sydney Cove today is a busy waterway. The Rocks area, rich in social and architectural history, however no part of Sydney has suffered such extensive physical changes as this area. Whole streets have disappeared, whole blocks of buildings have been demolished, yet despite these changes, the Rocks somehow preserves its atmosphere. Last century, Australia's only link with the outside world was with her sailing ships. Tall masts once towered above every building. On the western side of Sydney Cove, a rocky peninsula juts out into Sydney Harbour. In 1788, the first settlement began. The first dwellers on the peninsula, soon to be known as the Rocks, tended to be the worst type of convict. The population of the Rocks have since changed. It is now a decorous residential area. Every year there are celebrations put on by the local historical society. However, it usually turns into a pub crawl. TV personalities join in the fun too. The Hero of Waterloo Inn is one of Sydney's oldest hotels. It was convict built. The building of the approaches to the Sydney Harbour Bridge in 1927 in effect divided the Rocks into an eastern and western area. This was St Philip's Church several years ago. Today, the city sprawl has caught up with this church. Modern office blocks now surround it. A graceful style competes with concrete. Opposite in York Street is fashionable Petty Hotel, now the Red Cross Blood Bank. Its future is also in doubt. Elevated highways have successfully subdivided more of the Rocks area. The building called Noah's Ark is close to danger. It was built before 1820 by Thomas Glover, a stonemason. Fort Phillip was built on present Observatory Hill, then known as Flagstaff Hill. Fortunately, a small part of the rocks area will be kept. Argyle Place. The National Trust has taken over the maintenance and repair of some of these buildings. More professional people are moving in. But today there still exists a strong local community. The Argyle Cut, completed in 1867, provided access to Millers Point from Sydney Cove. Here in Cambridge Street, so named in 1810, once contained two notorious grog shops, She-Hulk and Black Dog. Buildings have been somewhat modified, but the street still shows original levels and contours. In Susanna's Place, it was built in 1844. Note how it's built below the level of the street. Cadman's Cottage is the oldest house in Australia. It was first occupied in 1816 by John Cadman, Superintendent of Government Boats. The future of this building is also in doubt. The demolition still continues, but now buildings rise from the ashes of the past.